Alright, so today I thought I would get back to one of the stacked and blended videos that I've been doing, and someone in one of the last ones that I had done had mentioned how they use the Boss line selector to kind of do a blend of the Boss MT-2 metal zone and a rat pedal as well. Now I don't have the rat pedal, but I do have the Wampler Ratsbane, so that's pretty close there, and even goes even beyond what that can do there. So let's kind of go through the clean sound and everything we can do with these. Right now I've got them stacked, so I've got the metal zone going into the Ratsbane, then into the front of my Simplifier, which is acting correctly right now. Cross your fingers, and let's see. So I'm going straight into the front of it, Marshall settings, about midway on the gains, and then greenback speakers, 412s and everything. So this is my clean tone with my LTD. I've got it tuned to drop C. Right now I figured just keep it like that for this since it's going to be a pretty high gain video. So the metal zone going into the front. I know we've done other videos talking about how it's probably best going into the return. But for right now, let's just go straight into the front of it. So, kind of got that B sound. I think it sounds better going through there, but let's build our way up to that. So it's just the metal zone, and then with the rat engaged. Gets a little bit gainier, a little fuzzier. Now with the rat, so here we would bring the rat in, and it kind of filters some of that out. So it is a bit different just with the metal zone versus mixing the rat bait. Now when I turn off the metal zone, there is some difference. But it's almost like the metal zone is just kind of pushing into the rat. Oh, well, let's try that. Let's turn the gain down. The gain kind of affects it. Let's try the volume. So no gain. Kind of using it as a clean boost into the front of the rat. So it does take out a little bit of the noise. So that's just a clean boost from here and nothing crazy with the EQ. Although I can kind of turn it there. You can see it affects it some. Boost the highs, cut the highs, boost the lows, cut the lows. Alright, so when we have them in this order, hitting the metal zone with its parametric EQ and then going into the rat, which is a fuzz, and just instead of even having a tone control, it's just got like a filter control that's pulling out the high end as you turn it to the right. So this is really taking control and taking away some of the flexibility that the metal zone has. So let's start there. Let's now flip them around. So, sorry about that. Let's do the rat into the metal zone. And what this should do is still give us our fuzz tone, but then we can use that parametric EQ that we have on the metal zone to kind of shape the tone a little bit more. So let's give this a try. Alright, so didn't change any of the settings just yet. That's the rat. You know what that sounds like. But now rat into metal zone. So that hiss is definitely more present. Excuse me. So definitely has more effect over the tone of that. But let's see when I turn the mid. See how I can shape that. And so you can kind of boost this and then sweep with the mid-range there. kind of find that bad sound you want to try to drop out there and just pull it out a little bit. Boost the highs, cut the highs. Almost feel like turn the filter all the way down so you're getting highs from this, and then kind of cut them from the metal zone, and then the bass. Interesting. It's a little noisy, but you got some cool harmonics that are kind of easy to hit. Yeah, so it's pretty responsive to pinch harmonics. I mean, you can still get them from there. It's not got near as much like kind of like pushed harmonic sound where it's like the very lowest, quietest parts of the harmonic are really getting brought up there. So again, you know, we have high gain stacked into high gain, even, you know, high gain on the border of fuzz into high gain there, and you know, it can work and go for it there, but let's try blending the two of these together now. So let's take just a moment, just unplug everything. And it really doesn't matter which order I put them in, which one goes into channel A, which one goes into channel B, because they're running parallel instead of in series. So let's see. Send A, let's just put the rat on A, and then I guess we just put the metal zone onto path B. Go. That needs to happen. All right, so it's going to get a little messy here. Yeah, relatively in frame there. All right, so still need the guitar plugged in. So now I'm going LTD guitar into the I'm going into the signal blender, and then I've got path A going to the rat, path B going to the metal zone, and then going into the simplifier just in the front. So let's get these going. Obviously, when they're on, it doesn't matter, I need this engaged for it. So there's the Ratsbane. There's the metal zone. Just kind of even them out. There's the clean tone. There's the rat. There's the metal zone. Here we go. Okay, let's kind of even out the EQ on this. So you see I have a lot more options as far as being able to shape the tone of them. And you know, I could do just the metal zone on its own, but it feels not only kind of buzzy, I mean, I can live with the buzziness, but it almost feels like too focused. It's not got as much width to it. Even if you add the bass, I mean, it gets kind of bassy, kind of muddy, but it's not really getting that wider sound. But if I add the fuzz, it feels like that's a nice pickup of the frequencies that we're missing out of with the metal zone. Still responding to harmonics okay. So I don't feel like I'm getting quite the harmonics that I was getting when these two were stacked together. So that's one thing. But overall, I do think that the tone is a little bit more manageable with this, and more flexible too. Not only do you get like the best of both worlds with them, but it feels like you can mess with that EQ, even do some mixing here, because that volume is pretty powerful. Cool. So, like I say, this was something that was suggested in a comment for another stacked video, and they were saying that they, excuse me, they were saying that they would use the Boss line selector for this, which I don't have, but I'm somewhat familiar with. And one thing I don't think that can do, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that you can't do a clean blend with that one, whereas that's what we have over here on the side. So with these engaged, yeah, but let's hear the clean added in. So that right there, that clean, uncompressed sound, because that's part of the problem with the metal zone. It takes your sound and it just compresses it so much, and maybe that's part of what is fixed with the Waza version. I would like to try that out at some point. But notice that again. So this is just the Ratsbane and the metal zone. Now I have the clean channel turned up a bit more than the other ones, but it doesn't sound like it's really clean at it. It just sounds like it got bigger and crisper, glassier almost. Now when I do those chords, it kind of stands out a little bit more, so let's turn that down, blend it out. Not really helping the harmonics, but see how it makes the chords just so much clearer. That's like I guess it'd be a G major. And you kind of lose that without that, but you add that clean in, and it just gets so much more aggressive. And again, I think that's because you're getting that uncompressed, clean sound going through it there. Let's do one or two more things. I know this video is getting kind of long here, but let's try doing our old trick of plugging straight into the effects loop here, because we know that works with the metal zone. But let's see if we tag the Ratsbane along, what that's going to be like. So straight into the return. Right, a lot of clean tone when you do that, because you're bypassing the volume on this. So adjust that out. Let's see. So that's just the metal zone. Ooh, that's just the rat. Yeah, we're going to want to cut that one almost out. That's just the metal zone. That's with the rat. I had to pull the rat down a little bit. Let's mix the clean in. Might not want the clean quite so much, because at this point, doing it this way, you know, I don't have any kind of preamp. I'm not hitting the tone stack, the Marshall, you know, any of that stuff, basically on this half of the simplifier there. So that's why the clean sounds so much more wild. And when I dig in, it's not getting compressed like the other ones are. So let's, even that's a lot. Cool. So let's do one more thing for this too. So I'm going to plug the guitar straight into the front of the simplifier. All right. Now let's use this cable to go from the input. Well, technically we're going from the effects send of the simplifier into the input of the signal blender, and then at the output into the return. So now the clean signal is affected by... Oh, it's because the volume's down. Excuse me. Okay, so that's the clean sound, which, if I turn this up, I have that in there, but I'm about to stack two high gain, or blend two high gain pedals into that, so let's just go with clean. Here is adding the metal zone. Here's adding the, well, let's do just the rat. I feel like the rat does best going in front of an amplifier there, because then you get the tone stack controls and everything there. So, but let's stack in the metal zone. So that's just the metal zone. Add in the rat. Definitely gets wilder. What if I switch invert the phase? So I think the phase was causing some of that sound. See, that sounds a lot better. So I did have to flip the phase to get that to work. So that's another thing. I'm not sure how the Boss line selector handles being able to do that. Is that the clean signal in? Just a big boost. Let's cut it Cool. So yeah, we ran through a bunch of different options. To me, you know, since they're both high gain there, I don't know that stacking them would be the way that I would choose to go, except for the harmonics that you were getting there with it. That was pretty cool. Honestly, I think probably the best thing, I know that the metal zone, we've kind of decided, sounds really good running just straight into the return of the simplifier or your amp, but stacked with the rat there, I think that going into the front of the simplifier was probably my favorite choice with this particular guitar, which uses active EMG pickups, which is something to consider if you're using tele pickups or single coils or just unactive, or I should say passive pickups, then that's something to consider too. So I'll go ahead and wrap this one up. I feel like I got through a lot of stuff, kind of showing these two pedals together here. I'll do some more of these and some other videos here soon, but thank you very much for sticking with me, and I will see you again soon.